Yeah. طلعها بقى. Can the brothers move this way? Yeah. Sorry. Inshallah, inshallah. Oh, Dr. Muhammad, okay. Give him a second. Too late. We got it. Yeah, everybody has to go this way. You guys could come up all the way, it's fine. Do you want to take some pictures later? Who's doing from the back? Okay. We're live? Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa tabi'a hudahu ila yawmiddin wa ba'd. We have to have a quiet session because this is going to be long and inshallah not boring, but the longer it goes and if you start talking, okay. Guys, if you either gonna learn or leave. I am very serious. Anyone who has kids here, please get your kids next to you right now. No, I'm talking about the boys. Get them next to you. I'm not gonna start till all the kids are on the ground away from the chair, next to your dad or your mom or whoever, if you're at age. If they're going to talk in the back, they're not going to learn. And they're going to distract everybody else. And people are here to learn. And mashallah, we have a large gathering, so it's not easy to keep everybody quiet. And sisters too. So I don't have to tell you to, inshallah, quiet up. لا, it's fine. It's fine. Bismillah. ما هو عشان الوضوء بس. So inshallah we're going to do a practical example of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam wudu and salah. And inshallah I'm going to take in question while we are in the process. If you have question or clarification, you could ask inshallah and let me know. So before we start inshallah, we have, if the sisters want to move all the way up, you can. Don't worry about it. Just move up to don't even worry about the divider right now. We have what we call the mud of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is the scale weight, exact measurement and exact shape and cup. You guys could give salam later. Come on, seriously. Allah Adam. Malish. So this is the measurement that is called the mud. The Prophet ﷺ used to make wudu with a mud. How much is that? This is exactly it. So we took it with the shape, the drawing shape of Rasulullah ﷺ's wudu. And he used to make his wudu with this amount of water. Okay? And then I'll pass it on so you could see it. That's how Rasulullah ﷺ's wudu cup looked like, shaped this way with the exact measurement, exact drawing, exact shape and look. And it says the mud of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, authentically verified. We have it with a chain, alhamdulillah, to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you could take a look at it. And he used to take a shower, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with 4 or 5 of these. So that's the first thing we need to know. We are wasting a lot of water. Our masjid bathroom, you see water all over the place. If you could make wudu with this amount, imagine how much water you'll be saving. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wudu was the perfect wudu, most complete. And he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, isbaghul wudu. How would you complete wudu with this amount? We'll do it right now, inshallah, Rabbul Alameen, with this measurement, inshallah. So very quickly, steps of wudu, as we all mentioned. How many of you have their siwak? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We already passed it Tuesday. Okay, if you are not here on Tuesday, just take a siwak later when you leave. If you are not here, if you are here on Tuesday and you lost it or you left it, don't take one, please. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, let's start inshallah the hadith of Ali ibn Abi Talib and Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu arda, and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on him performing siwak. So him performing wudu. The first thing that he would use the siwak before wudu, and it's a sunnah to do siwak before his wudu sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he would start. We need a bigger masjid. لازم نهد دلوقتي. So he sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do the siwak before every wudu, and he encouraged people to do siwak before wudu, and it will make more sense when you do it at the washing area and you spit it out, and that's how the washing is as a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then he would wash his hand, and washing the hand is obligatory or wajib when you wake up from any sleep. But in the beginning of wudu, it's only a sunnah. Why do we say that? You will know in a second. Then you do the order of wudu. You take some in your mouth and your nose at the same time. He used to do that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he would blow it out. And then he would wash his face from where the hair grows all the way to his chin, and ear loop to ear loop, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then he would go between his beard if you have a long beard. And then he would wash his arm. Here, the hand comes back in action. So a lot of people, when they wash their hands at the beginning of wudu, when it comes to their arm, they just wash the arm. Your wudu is invalid. Your wudu is incorrect, because you have to use the tip of your fingers, your entire hand, all the way to your elbow and pass it. So if you don't do the hand while you're doing the arm, your wudu is invalid. Even if you wash your hand 10 times before wudu. That's why we said it's a sunnah before wudu, but it's obligatory during wudu. And then he would wipe over, right and then left, and then he would wipe over his head, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, front and back. The AC. On, we want it on. And then he would wipe his head back and forth, and whatever water is left on his fingers, he would go into his ear, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inside his ear with his fingers, inside, and the outside is holding the outside ear, and then he would wash it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then he would wash the feet and go between his toes with his finger. Okay, and then he would wash it all the way to his ankle, and he would make sure to cover this part. And he said, "Wailun lil aqabi minan nar." Be careful of the back, because a lot of people miss their heels when they make wudu. So when you miss it, it will be burned in hell fire. Wal-'iyadhu billah. So this is how simple the wudu of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with this measurement that we have now. This measurement right here made this much. That's exact measurement right now. So let's start, inshallah, and we hope, inshallah, we are able to accomplish with it. So the first thing, you start with your siwak, and the first thing we should know of wudu is what? Niyyah, intention, yes? So do I have an intention to make wudu now or not? Intention is not a struggle. You don't have to worry about intention so much. Like I'm starting wudu. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm gonna turn on the fan. So some people, they have this wiswas that, oh, I didn't do intention. You did everything that says you did intention. If you're getting ready to make wudu, that's your intention right there. So I'm gonna start with my siwak. You clean with your siwak all over, and then you clean off that. That's the siwak part. You didn't start your wudu yet. So if you wake up from your sleep, Bismillah, then you wash your hands 3 times, and make sure any person who has a ring, that's why I wear my ring now to show you, or sisters mainly, because they wear ring all the time, to move the ring. This is a sunnah, to make sure that the water goes under your ring. So you're washing your hands. Okay, washing my hands. You have the option 1, 2, or 3. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made wudu 1 time. He made wudu 2 times. He made wudu 3 times. Okay, Bismillah. You started Bismillah once. Okay, you take some. So both at the same time, not one for each. So he sallallahu alaihi wasallam would do this.
That's 3 times right there. And then you would wash على المكاره. Now you need to understand something. There are areas that a lot of people do not cover in their wudu, like the eyes. And there is no need to actually go and take water for your eyes. All you need to do is make sure that when you're covering, you see my hand, my fingers? When you're covering the eyes, those areas that the water does not reach, that area that the water does not reach. You want to make sure that you get them. Okay. Now the arms, the mistake that I say a lot of people do is, what's wrong with this now? Huh? Yes, you did not get the hands. If you don't get your hands, they are wet, they're clean. So a lot of people seem to forget them. If you don't get the hands with the arms, your wudu is invalid. Your entire wudu is invalid. So make sure. So this is what you do. You take it to your fingers. And if you want to go above the elbow, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, in the day of judgment, these will be marks of light. That people will come in the day of judgment and they will be recognized by those extra marks. So, and الدلك. Same thing with my left, and you always start with your right above the ankle, above the elbow. So I'm doing now 3. We said the minimum is what? 1 time, and 1 time is sufficient enough. Of course, I'm not going to talk about madhahib or what the madhahib says. Like, for example, the Maliki madhab, they say for a student of knowledge, he won't be obligated to do once. And if he does more, it's wrong because he has to follow one and save water because he knows what to do. But now we're just doing 3, so I could show you the amount of water that we have of the measurement. Now the head. You take for the head, front and back. That's the sunnah of Rasulullah. Yes, if you just cover some of it, it's fine. Some sisters, for example, they're outside. Sometimes they cannot take their hijab off. So what can they do? They wipe the front, so under the hijab, just get their hands wet into their hijab, inside of their hijab, and then wipe over the rest of the hijab. That's completely fine. You could do that. But wiping over the entire hijab, yes, there's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ did it over the imama, but he did the tip, the front of his head before he did that. So it is better, recommended for a sister to do the front of her hair and then wipe over her head. No problem, she doesn't need to take hijab, especially if she's in public. Now my fingers are still wet, so you put them into your ear to the outside, okay? And you clean inside and outside. Now, bismillah. You take for your feet. Okay, now, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you could just turn the water off till you finish. The problem is, if you block your shower, look how much water you're using. You'll see a lot. The problem is we leave it open and we're washing. No, just turn it off till you finish. Here. Now, what am I missing when I'm doing this now? Huh? Al-a'qab. Most people you'll find this dry. Most people. So you want to make sure that your heels are wet. You're getting your heels wet completely. And Rasulullah said, Waylun, hellfire will be touched this area because people miss it. So a lot of people will come with this area dry. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You go through it. 1, 2, 3. Or with your hand into the second one. Bismillah. Or you go this way, and then times. The head is only one, the only one is the head, one time. Everything else 3. Or 1 all. So you have the option to do 1 or 3. 1 is complete, 2 is fine, or 3. So you have the option to do 1, 2, or 3. More than that is too much. That's 1. 2, you notice here, we did not do what? The neck. The neck has nothing to do with wudu. So people who does this, that's not a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People who does water all the way up to almost their knees, that's not a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People who cover their shoulders, that's not a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We completed wudu, and this is how much water we use. And this is complete 3 times wudu. Now, if you could do that, anybody want to try? Not too hard, yeah. Try it at home. This is what you need to do. Get one of these, one bottle, and try to make wudu. Let someone else help you with wudu and see if you could accomplish wudu with one bottle. One bottle is fine, or 1.5. Here you go. You have all the way up to 1.5. That's the measurement. If you do more than that, you're wasting water. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, do not waste water. Even they said, Ya Rasulullah, even in wudu. He says, especially if in wudu, even if you're making water wudu from a running river. Like if there's running river, how are you going to waste water? There is a lot of water. He said, even if you're making wudu, don't waste water. So how much water do we waste? A lot. I always tell myself, just plug the shower, make wudu, and see how much water you have used. I'm sure it's way more than that. Imagine how many Muslims on earth are making wudu today, and how much water are they wasting just for a small act of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. The minimum is 1 time. Minimum of wudu is 1 time. Oh, you mean the sunan? You could skip the sunan, but the thing is, we want to make sure that we're doing today the complete wudu. So yes, you could skip the sunnah, but some of the ulama consider the mouth and the nose to be an obligatory too, because it's part of the face. The other thing that people do is that they get distracted during wudu. So if you get distracted during wudu, or someone comes in and they start talking to you, and you stop in the middle of wudu. If you stop in the middle of wudu, as long as your parts are not dry, and here I'm not talking about using a towel, I'm talking about, regular dry, not air dry. Because the air dry, you put it under air dry. Just dried by itself. If it's, okay? If it's dried without using any part, then you have to redo the entire wudu. So if somebody comes and your mom, for example, speaking to you, says, hey, you did this or that, you could stop and say, yes, I didn't do that, and continue wudu. But if you talk to someone for a period of time where some of your wudu areas are completely dry without you touching it, then your wudu is invalid. You have to restart wudu. The other thing is wiping over the socks. We're not going to get into that because it's a big discussion among the scholars on what is the socks, leather socks or wool socks. Which one has to be thick? You have to be able to walk on it. We're not going to get into that, inshallah. Yes? The whole part is dry by itself. So, for example, in the cold days, if I have cold water, can I wash my face and then dry my face, and then wash my arm and then dry my arm, and then wash the other arm and then dry? Can I do that? Yes, you can. What's the problem? You can. You're the one who's drying it. You're drying your parts right after you're done. That's completely fine. The only thing that I want to mention about the socks, that if you're gonna wear the socks, okay, and you want to wipe over the socks, if I tell you to stop talking one more time, I'm kicking you out of the masjid. Okay, I'm very clear. If I tell you wear the socks, this is what you could do wrong. This is wrong. Is to wash your feet, first one, and then put the socks on, and then wash the other foot, and then put the socks on. Can you wipe over your socks? You wash your first foot. You washed it, okay? And then you dry it. Here you go. Then you put the socks on. And then you wash the second one, and you dry it, and you put the socks on. Can you wipe over your socks? Why not? Because you wore the socks before completing wudu. So you didn't finish wudu. So you cannot wipe over your socks. You have to put both of them on after what? After wudu, if you want to wipe over. And you go to school, you could wear your shoe and wipe over your shoe. That's completely fine. If you put them on after wudu, of course. If you take them off, can you wipe over your foot? طيب, if I took them off and I still have wudu, can I put them back on? What if I wiped over them? Can I put them back on? Yes, you can if you still have wudu. Did you get this rule? If you wear the socks, I'm wearing the socks. I made wudu, I put my socks on. Before dhuhr, I was outside, I got tired, I got them both off. Now, dhuhr time came, I put them back on and I pray. I still have wudu. I didn't break my wudu, I just took them off. Even if you wipe over, you can. But when you put them on the second time, you could pray because you still have wudu, but you cannot wipe over it again. Confusing, yeah? I know. It's okay. That's why we're here. We're learning. Any question now on wudu before we move on to salah? Because I have to finish all today, inshallah. Go ahead. Yeah, I say yes. Even though in our madhab you can't, but I'll just say yes. Yes. Huh? Okay. You're talking to me. Okay? You guys are talking to me, not talking to others. Please. Yes. We don't want to get distracted because we want to finish it off. Yes. What's not sunnah? Yes. Oh yeah. You could leave it without being dry. That's fine. No, it's just the way that you want to do it. And then after your wudu, so the only thing you say is Bismillah before wudu, and after your wudu you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المتطهرين. Period. There is no dua when making. So there is no dua saying, Ya Allah, Bismillah, I'm washing my right hand. May Allah make my right hand in Jannah. Oh, Ya Allah, protect me from the people who get their books from their left hand. Ya Allah, I want to hear everything. There is none of that. There is no dua with any part. Before wudu and after wudu, you're done with wudu. Get ready for salah. Any question about wudu? Should be simple, inshallah. Yes. One day if you're a resident and 3 days if you're a traveler. Without going into a different of opinion, because there's opinion that you could go up to 7 days when you're traveling. Yes. Can you wipe over what? You wipe over open toes, socks? No, your socks, okay, this is the rule. This is one of the rules. For your socks, it has to cover all the area of wudu. So those short socks, those sport socks that people wear today, anybody has them? Let me see, come here. Yeah, come, good. I need an example. Bismillah, put your feet up here. No, put it up. So those socks right here, he cannot wipe over them. Why? Because they're not covering his ankle, and the ankle is part of wudu. So they have to be covering beyond the ankle for him to be able to wipe over the socks. Okay? Yes. خلاص, if you're done and you still have dirt, خلاص, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Yes. Yes. Fine. You can now wipe over again. Yes. That's fine. Doesn't break your wudu, inshallah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. No. The shoes.
Yes. Okay, yes. If you skip a part, this is what happened. The order of wudu is very important, but is not obligatory according to the majority. So if somebody did one part before the other, their wudu is correct. If they skip a part, they could just go back to that part and do it if the time is within the time. Within the time means what? That there is no long time in between. So for example, if I'm finished my wudu, I get out of the bathroom, I come to the masjid, I sit here, then I remember, oh, I did not wash my left arm. Can I just go and wash my left arm? No, that's a period of time. That's a long time that disconnected you from your wudu. So you have to redo the wudu at beginning. But if I'm just done, I'm finished. Now I'm gonna dry myself. I'm drying, I'm like, but this is already dry. There's no way that this have dried. So that means I didn't wash my left. Can I just wash my left arm by itself? Yes, you can, no problem. What about the order? The order is recommended, highly recommended, or even obligatory, but it is not a pillar as a required. Okay? No. If you're gonna do 3 times, then 3 times. If you're gonna do 1 time, then it's 1 time. So every time you do it, yes, you go in between. No. It's all 1, all 2, all 3. So you could do 1, 2, or 3. You can, but the sunnah is to take in your hand, to take some for your mouth and the rest for your nose. Spit in your mouth and then blow your nose. You take some for your mouth and then some in your nose. You spit in your mouth, you spit it out, and then you blow your nose out. No. MashaAllah, we have so much about wudu. I thought we were... No, yes, go ahead. Yes, sniff it in, then blow it out. Not too much. You don't take it too much that you... No. Yes? Yes, you can. As long as the water does not change water taste or anything. Okay, any question? Any other question? So just pass out the muddah of the Prophet ﷺ to take a look at it till we prepare for wudu. Just look at it and then pass it around, inshallah. Just get the feeling that Rasulullah ﷺ had this and had. Yes, sir. And the what? Tayammum. Tayammum is dry ablution, and dry ablution is take this into the back. Bismillah. Dry ablution is when you do not have water, or you do not have access to water, or you do not have enough water. Tayammum has 2 different ways. You have to have soil in the ground. Soil in the ground means that if I hit my hand, there is dust, clean dust, that sticks into your hand from the ground, original ground. Meaning I cannot take a bag of dust with me on the airplane, because you have transformed it, you have moved it out. So if I come to the ground, if I come here to this wall right here, okay? If I do this, see? There is dust. Can I make tayammum with this? No, you cannot, because this is not the dust of the soil of the ground. So this you cannot make them. A lot of people in the airplane, I see them doing this. I don't know what they're hitting. Or the food table, for example. No, you cannot do that. I saw a brother who was carrying a rock during Hajj, a big rock. And in the plane, he opened the bag and he was hitting on it. Yes, it does have sand and it's from the ground, but it has what? Transformed. You have moved it from its place. So it has to be from the ground, the soil from the ground. You come to it and there's 2 ways to it. You hit once, you blow, and then your face. Your hands and then your face. You're done. Or you hit once, you blow, your face, you hit once, you blow, your arms. It depends on the madhab that you follow. So both are fine. So either once, hands, and then face, or face, and then your arms. That's tayammum. In case of no water, no access to water, or not enough water. Like if I have this much and I'm traveling, if I make wudu with it, what am I going to drink? And there is no way that I'm going to... Nowadays it's very hard, because when we travel there's always a stuff. But in case, okay? So that's tayammum is a replacement. It has to be soil from the ground. It has to be clean. It has to be pure. It has to stick in your hands. and you have to see the dust of it. Yes? Where is what? Then you cannot do tayammum. Then you pray without wudu or tayammum. Because the problem is people just think soil is like, this is dust. This is not soil. This is dust. Huh? No, it's dust on the tree, not soil in the ground. So the dust on the tree and all that, you cannot make tayammum with that. Yes? In the airplane, if you could use the bathroom, there is water in the bathroom. But sometime, and this only happened to me once. I was traveling somewhere, okay? 4 or 5 hours before we got to our destination, they say you cannot use the bathroom. We're out of water because people were drinking so much and people were going to the bathroom. So now I want to make salah before I miss salah. I don't have wudu, I don't have tayammum. Can I pray without both? Yes, you can. But now you could, there's ways you could. Huh? Well, that's different of opinion. Some Abu Hanifa says you don't pray, but you make it up. Imam Malik says you don't pray, you don't make it up if the time is out. Imam Shafi says you pray and then you make it up without wudu or tayammum. Imam Ahmad says you pray, but you don't make it up. So all 4 different opinions. No, not better. Because if you cannot find soil, then you're out. You cannot say, but there's better dust on the plane, let me use that because something is better than nothing. No. It's either water or soil from the ground. What if both don't exist? Don't make up something. You cannot say something is better than nothing. No, nothing is better. In this case, we're not required to use that. Okay. Now, yes. If it's on the ground and it has soil on it, yes, you can. Like if you are, what is it called? Hiking, for example, you can. On a rock, you can. طيب, let's now. Wudu all night. I thought everybody were good with wudu. Yes, sir. If you what? What's the question? Is it about wudu? No. I'm talking about if you cannot find water or tayammum, you pray. I'm not talking about standing or sitting. I'm talking about tayammum or water. If I cannot find water or soil, and the time of salah comes, what should I do? Should I pray? I don't have wudu. Should I pray? Well, here's the case. Forget whether you stand or not. Standing or sitting, that's a different rule. That's for salah. We're talking about wudu itself. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's start our salah, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen. Salah, I'm going to run through it, inshallah, and I'm going to open for questions because I feel like questions bring more benefit, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen. First of all, as we know, salah is the most important pillar of Islam. So the more correct, the more reward. The Prophet ﷺ said that there are people who will pray. There are people who will pray. And their salah would not be elevated above their head. Yani, it will not be accepted. So there are people who will be praying, okay? And those people, they get one half of their salah reward. Some people get 1/3, some people get 1/4. Some people will get 1/10, some people will get nothing out of their salah. Why? Because it all depends on how you do it and how you learn. So the first most important thing of salah is to know these things. We pray with 3 things. 3 parts of you are doing the prayers. 1, your heart. 2, your limbs. 3, your tongue. All 3 has to be witnessed. So there are actions of the hearts, there are actions of the limbs, and there are actions of the tongue. So for example, what are some actions of the heart of salah? The heart. Intention, khushu', and hudur, being present. These 3. Intention, khushu', which is focus, and hudur, your heart is being present. If you don't have one of the 3, that's a problem. Now, what are the actions of the limbs, your parts? Huh? Standing, going for ruku', getting up from ruku', sitting between the two sajda, sitting for the sajda, sitting for tashahhud, and sitting for salam, and all the position in between. What are some of the examples of the statements? Takbiratul ihram, that's the first thing. Start the salah, enter salah. Al-Fatiha recitation. The adhkar of the salah, the tashahhud, the last tashahhud, and the salam. That's mainly. And then what comes in between. Now, we want to do it a step by step and show the practice of it. Okay? And then taking questions, inshallah. Because it is better than just giving a lecture. The first thing is facing the qibla, standing straight. So we need to understand what that is, okay? Because this is a problem. A lot of people, they do not stand up in salah to start salah, especially if they are running to catch the salah. Yani مثلا, if the imam is praying, some people when they come to pray, they're coming to stand right away. La. You have to be standing up first for salah, facing the qibla, to even intend to pray. So you cannot be running and then just starting the salah. It doesn't work that way. Standing up facing the qibla is a pillar, al-qiyam. All these things that we say is for the people who can. For the people who what? Who can. Now, I saw some of the kids here, mashallah. They're my students, I know them. One of them had a cast on. I saw him praying on a chair. So I asked, what's going on? He said he had a cast on. Well, but you could stand, you could do ruku', maybe you cannot do sujood, fine, okay, sit on the chair. But if you're able to stand and you decide to sit in the obligatory salah, then your salah is invalid. So if a person has a problem with his knees, but they could stand up, but they cannot make ruku' or sujood, then they could stand up. When it comes to ruku', they could sit, and sujood, they could sit. But standing cannot be on the chair because they are capable of standing. This is the obligatory salah. In the sunnah, you could sit down. Okay? Now, an-niyyah, intention. Intention is placed in the heart. You need to think of your salah. What are you praying? Yani, you have to specify. Is it obligatory salah? Is it salatul dhuhr? Is it salatul asr? Okay? Is it, of course, if you specify which date, it has to be the correct date. Okay? So specifying in your mind the obligation of salah, that this salah is obligatory, to differentiate, because some salawat are sunan. Some salawat you cannot pray alone. So for example, if I come into the masjid on Friday and the imam is done with the khutbah and the salah, can I have the intention to pray Jum'ah? Why not? Huh? Okay, if I come into the masjid and the imam and the musallin finish the salah, can I pray dhuhr if they are finished with their dhuhr? Why can't I pray Jum'ah? Because Jum'ah has to be jama'ah, not because it's past time. Okay, you have to understand that. We have to pray Jum'ah jama'ah. So if you pray alone Jum'ah, your intention is wrong. Because Jum'ah has to be obligatory. Salatul khawf, the prayer of fear. La. Bring it here. Bring it with one of the kids. I'll get you one, inshallah, from Medina, inshallah. But I need it here for the sisters. Yeah. So this is the first thing. Specifying whether you are, if the imam, for example, if I did not specify that I am an imam and I lead the salah, my salah is invalid. That's why when somebody comes and you're praying alone and he knocks on your shoulder, you have to have the intention in your mind that you're switching from being by yourself to an imam. So if I come to pray Isha and I don't have in my mind that I'm an imam, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, and then Walad Dalin, and everybody says Ameen, I did not even intend to be an imam. So I cannot lead them because I did not have that intention. So intention is needed, whether you're praying alone to specify, whether you're praying in jama'ah as an imam or as a ma'moom. Now, also the type of salah. If the imam is praying asr and you did not pray dhuhr, you know he's going to pray asr. What are you praying? Dhuhr. So your intention has to be what? If you're going to follow that rule, then it's dhuhr. You cannot say, I'm going to pray asr and count it for dhuhr. No, no. Your intention has to be the salah that you're doing, not the salah that your imam is doing. Is that clear? Yeah? Okay. Then we got the intention. Now, standing up. Look at me now. Okay, standing up. We have a problem. As I said, this is standing up. This is not takbirat al-ihram yet. Just standing. You have to be fully straight, because we see some brothers, they do this, mashallah, they think this is what? Khushu'ah. That's not khushu'ah. You cannot do that. You have to have your body straight. How straight should my body be? It has to be your measurement. Anybody know how tall you are and how wide you are? Don't tell me 5'8", 5'9", because everybody is different. You are 4 arms of your own length up and 4 width. Everybody's like that, everybody. You're 4 arm length from the elbow to your thumb, 4 up, your height, and 4 wide. Yeah. Okay, riyadiyat, صح? Okay, let's get this for example. If I'm standing, that's why we say, if you stand this way, you are taller or shorter? You're shorter than your height. If you stand this way, you won't have the stretch to pray. Both are wrong. You have to be you're wide to your shoulder, and you have to be standing. We said how far are you? So for example, this is me right here. Okay, let's use this and see if it's accurate. Bismillah. 1. So that's 1. Okay, right. 1. Or امسك انت كده. امسك كده. بسم الله. 1. Okay. 2. Okay. 3. And then 4. Okay, so this thing. Okay, hold it now from my head. From my head. So if I'm standing this way, if I'm open, okay, let's measure it first. Let's measure it first from head. Okay, from the head all the way to the toe. See if it goes. Yes? Everybody's like that. Every one of you on your own measurement, you are from your thumb to your elbow 4 feet. 4 arm length. Everybody's like that. Subhanallah. And then width-wise. Okay, put it there. From the tip. Okay, somebody come here. Okay, so if you put wide open, okay, touch my tip, okay, touch my tip. Everybody's 4, okay. So that's how you are. You are 4 length. You are 4 by 4, not 5'8", 5'9". Okay, get that measurement off. So now, if I'm standing in salah, if I do this, I am no longer 4 arms. I get shorter. So a person has to be standing straight to the Qibla, and that way you start with the first thing, which is Takbiratul Ihram. Okay? So you're standing facing the Qibla. Now, you raise the hand with Takbiratul Ihram. Now, this is what Rasulullah ﷺ chose. In the hadith of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu and Ibn Mas'ud, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there are three options. Either you raise your hand up, like you're begging, or you put your hands like this, okay? Or you put your hands like this, you're asking. Or you throw something behind, you put your hand like that. He chose this option, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not like this, not like that, not all the way up. So your arms has to go up to your ear loop. Taban, we have different of madhahib, some touch. To be honest, the sunnah is to be close to it, so to the level. This is with takbiratul ihram only going for Allahu Akbar, the first takbirah. Your arms are up, facing the qibla. Your palms are open, facing the qibla. Now, with Allahu Akbar or after Allahu Akbar is fine. So, Allahu Akbar. So that's takbirat al-ihram. Now, step by step. Where do I put my hand? Now we have three places or 3 positions of the hands, and then different areas. So the first position, we have what we call al-qabd. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقبض. القبض is to hold your wrist, this part, with your hands like this. Okay, everybody sees this? So this is straight, okay? This is straight here. The left, طبعا not the right on the left. The left, and then you put the right on it. And you hold. You don't hold your arm. You don't hold that, you don't hold, you're holding only what? Huh? Your wrist here, okay? So you're holding. Now, you put it here, 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 up to the chest area, but not up to your neck. So all of this is the chest. And Rasulullah ﷺ, or below, as some of the madahib does, you put it below. But now, if you're holding, now, what if somebody doesn't want to hold? They just want to place their hands on their hands without holding. So holding is only the wrist, not like this. If you place your hand, then you place it on all three. So your right hand is touching your hand, your wrist, and part of your arm. That's the sunnah right here. Everybody sees this? Because we have a problem. We have people who pray like this. This is wrong. We have people who pray like this. They go like that. This is wrong. We have people who pray like this. That's wrong. Do you understand? So putting your hand here on all three. 1, 2, and 3. This, all three. There is another sunnah that Rasulullah used to place his hand here, but without holding. Here. And here, the people think this is al-ku'. Taban, this is in our language. Al-ku' is not this area. Al-ku' is this area right here. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يضع يده على كوعه. Some people thought ku' is like the ku'. We use, even Egyptian accent, we use that. We say al-ku' is this part. That's not al-ku', that's al-bu'. Okay? So here, 1, and he used to place it, fine, if you place it on your belly, below or above, it's fine, inshallah. All sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, based on what you follow and what madhab you follow, we're not going to discuss that. But the point here, not like this. Not like that. That's not salah. That's holding your neck being tied. And this is one of the characteristic of the people of hellfire, wal-'iyadhu billah. They'll be chained to their neck like that. So we're not supposed to pray like that. We're supposed to pray with flexibility. Okay? That's why we don't pray feet together like this. We don't put our feet next to each other like that and stand. Because this way, if somebody comes in and just pushes you, you're not stable in salah. We want to be standing in salah loose so we could have more khushu'. So we start, Allahu Akbar. Or we could say, Allahu Akbar, and then put our hands. Both are correct. You do your hands with the takbir, or you do your hands after the takbir. Good? Then you say the dua al-istiftah. Dua al-istiftah is the beginning of the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anybody know what dua al-istiftah is? It's not obligatory, not wajib, but it's recommended. Okay? Subhanallah wa bihamdih, Subhanallah al-azim. You could say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. اللهم باعد بيني وبين خطاياي كما بعدت بين المشرق والمغرب اللهم نقني من خطاياي كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس اللهم اغسلني من خطاياي بالماء والثلج والبرد. You could also say what? Huh? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. ممتاز. So whatever dua al-istiftah you know, just say it, but it's not obligatory. And then you start Surah Al-Fatiha. Surah Al-Fatiha is a pillar of salah. Meaning, if you miss Al-Fatiha, your rak'ah is invalid. I said, if you miss Al-Fatiha, your what? Rak'ah, not salah. So if I pray Dhuhr 4 rak'ah, I forgot to read Al-Fatiha in 1. How many rak'at did I actually pray? Only 3. I need to make up what? The 4th, and recite Surah Al-Fatiha, whether you are imam, whether you're a ma'moom, whether you're praying by yourself, whether you're praying with the imam. There's rules that if the imam reads, you don't have to read and all that. We're not going to get into that. Then you recite Al-Fatiha, and then you recite another surah standing. Where should you be looking when you're standing? See, this is the problem. A lot of people think to the sujood. You have to be looking down, that your eyes is in the area of the sujood, not at your sujood. Looking at sujood does not literally mean you look at where you make sajda. Because that way you'll be focusing on one spot and this will distract you from salah. You're looking, Rasulullah used to look at mawdi'u sujood. Mawdi'u sujood means what? The position of sujood, the area of sujood. without distraction. And that's why we need to free the heart from the distraction. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the hadith of Abu Jahm, when he was wearing clothes that had a flag on with colors, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam got distracted. So after salah, he took it off, very angry, and he sent it to Abu Jahm. And he said, give it to him. The reason that he gifted to him and he gifted back sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he didn't want to take it out that way. Nowadays we have a lot of distraction in our masajid, in our houses. Our sijjada has a lot. Sometimes sijjada has a lot of colors that people start going red, blue, well, red. Seriously. And you have to understand, you're standing in front of Allah now. And that's why we said preparation of salah starts when? Before salah, from the time we make wudu, from the time we pray the sunnah, from the time we get to the masjid and get ready. And that's why it's recommended to pray in jama'ah, because the shaitan would not be able to distract you as much as if you're by yourself. So now, I read al-Fatiha, I read another surah after al-Fatiha, in the rak'at that I am praying in. I want you to think of salah this way, okay? Think of salah as someone driving a car, okay? Someone driving a car. How do you start driving? With a high speed, or you slow up or slow down and then move up? Which one? No, those kids are crazy that goes high speed. No, seriously. Salah is like that. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu, the uncle of Rasulullah, somebody complained about his salah. So he came to Umar. فقال له عمر كيف تصلي? How do I find you praying? قال أركض في الأوليين وأخفف في الأخريين. I pray like Rasulullah. I go slow in the first two. Like when you start, you have more khushu', more recitation, Fatiha, another surah, you're slowing down. The tasbih in ruku', we're going to see 30 times. Rasulullah used to do that. They used to come from 30 times. And then he says in the last two, I would speed up a little bit. Like I go a little faster. So only al-Fatiha, less dua. So when you start your salah, you want to start that driving slow. Slow, and then you speed up, and then you finish. You go this way. So if I'm gonna stand, okay, this is all about standing now. If you can't stand, then you could sit down, whether you're sitting on a chair, whether you're sitting on a ground. Now you're gonna go to the second position. Movement to the second position is obligatory, meaning you have to move your body. What part of your body moves? From your waist down, it does not move. From my waist down, nothing moves. Because now, especially with kids, I don't know why 11 and 12 years old, 13 years old, this is what they do in ruku'. You cannot bend your knees like that. You're only 11, because out of laziness, but if they play soccer outside, they could play for 3 hours. They don't have, their knees are fine to play. But in ruku', they can't. So the first thing when they do, they go, Allahu Akbar. Doing this is incorrect in salah. So your half, only this half. The top half is the one that goes down. This is all straight. This stays straight. And then you say, Allahu Akbar. Saying Allahu Akbar to the movement is obligatory. And raising the hand is a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, to what level should I raise my hand now? To my ears? Like I did in the Takbiratul Ihram? Only Takbiratul Ihram, you raise your hand up to your ears. All the other takbirat, to the level of your shoulder or to the level of your chest. So this is what you do. And don't be strict in salah. Like don't do like this, Allah. You know how some people, they're showing like they're as we said, be flexible. So here is it. You're here, you finish the salah, Allah, you raise your hand, Allahu Akbar, for the ruku'. Now, the mistake that a lot of people do is one of two. They do Allahu Akbar, then ruku', or they wait till they are in ruku' and they say Allahu Akbar. Both are wrong. So this is the mistake. Where is especially the ones who pray with us salah, the imams. I see a lot of imams do that, okay? Here is it. They go, Allahu Akbar. What did he do here? He said takbirah. This takbirah is for a movement, not for standing. Or they do this. Allahu Akbar. They are already what? in the position of ruku'. Both are wrong. You're supposed to go like this. Here, Allahu Akbar. While you're moving to the ruku'. Is everybody clear on that? Now the ruku' part. The ruku' part are three. First, when you go, your back has to be straight. Okay, as much as you can. And of course, this is not accepted. This is not accepted. Okay, all of that. Now, your palm, your hand inside of your hands has to be holding your knee. Everybody sees that? So here is inside, and your fingers are holding your knees. Okay? Open. Some people do this. Some people they do like that. Some people even put it here. All wrong. So when I go, Allahu Akbar, the inner of my hand is touching my knee, and my hands are holding. My back is straight. Okay? Now, the head is a problem. Rasulullah ﷺ forbidden salah to look up in any position. And he said your sighting might not return to you. Wal-'iyadhu billah. Well, in another narration, he says that if a person's head turns into a donkey's head, then he should not blame but himself. So we're not supposed to do this. Allahu Akbar. I see that all the time, especially with young, mashallah. I don't know what they're wondering. They're just seeing things that we can't see. They're like, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin. Wallahi, this is how this is wrong. Your eyes should be at the level of the qibla or at the level of the sujood. Now for the ruku' is the same thing. If I am making ruku', my beard has to line up with my chest a little in. I'm not looking like this. Why? Because my head is what? Up. My chin is in with my beard. So the lihya has to be touching like your chest. So here, I'm going in. Okay, not too wide, not too close. I'm going in. Okay, my hands either are wide if I'm praying by myself, not like this, but wide, or like this straight if they have people next to me, because I don't want to be bothering anybody. And I'm making the ruku'. Now my head is like this. Right or wrong? Wrong. What about this? Wrong. What about this? Yes. You are in the area of your sujood, or you could see your feet. So here you go. Not like this. That's too much. Not like this. Not like that. And not Allahu Akbar. Sami Allah. This is called naqru al-ghurab, like a crow. You know how the crows, when they eat, this is how they eat. Rasulullah said, don't pray like that. Do not make your salah like the biting of the way that the crow eats, going so fast. Some people you cannot even count. They go, Allahu Akbar, Sami Allah. Your bones has to be placed in their position and back. So if I go one, in ruku', my bones are all in position. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim is the minimum, one. And they used to count for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam 30 of Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. He says, make your ruku' for the adhkar, for the tasbih, for the tahmeed, for the tahleel of Allah. And make your sujood for the dua, more of the dua. So 30. So when you go down, the minimum is, so Allahu Akbar, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Minimum one, minimum. You have to complete that, and then going back straight to the position that you were in. Fully standing. This is another thing. Fully standing. Your bones has to all what? Be back together. Now when you come up from your ruku', don't raise your head. You say, Sami Allahu liman hamida. The ma'mum says, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Rabbana لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه ملء السماوات وملء الأرض وملء ما شئت من شيء بعد أهل الثناء والمجد أحق ما قال العبد وكلنا لك عبد لا مانع لما أعطيت ولا معطي لما منعت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد. That's the dua for Rasulullah. Or ربنا لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه. That's the minimum. This is the minimum. When the Sahabi Rasulullah finished the salah, he said سمع الله لمن حمده. The Sahabi said ربنا ولك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه. Rasulullah said, where did you learn this from? He said, Ya Rasulullah, this is a beautiful dhikr that I wanted to make. Why? He said, Wallahi, I saw fairies, some angels coming down to carry your dua to Allah. And he said, it sounds so beautiful. So the adhkar has to take its time for the salah. So we stand up in ruku'. Okay? Sami Allahu liman hamida. Again, same thing. Some people do this. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Wrong. Some people do this. Sami Allahu liman hamida. They are already what? Standing. It has to be a movement with a position and statement. Sami Allahu liman hamida. And you raise the hand again to the level of your shoulder or to your chest, and you have the option, as Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned, Ibn Qayyim said there's no specific hadith. You put your hand back to where it was, or you keep your hands next to you. When you keep your hands next to you, keep them straight. So it's not Sami Allahu liman hamida. It's not, we don't do that. We don't do a fist. We don't stand like this. Okay? We don't put our hands in our waist. We're not dancing. This is salah. This is very serious now. You put your hands next to you, straight, or you put them back where they were before the ruku'. Both are fine. There is no specification on which one that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do, even though most would be next to you. Questions at the end, inshallah. Better. Okay, so now we finish with the ruku' and the dua of the ruku'. Taman, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. He had his left hand on his right hand. Even if you're in salah, you could fix it for someone. Okay? You're allowed to fix it. And Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he saw a man, another thing. Another thing nowadays we don't need it is the covering of the face and the nose. So if you're wearing a mask, you most likely your recitation would not be accurate. We didn't speak about recitation. Al-Fatiha has a lot of mistakes that people make. Even people make mistakes with the takbirat. So listen to this, for example. Allahu Akbar. Right or wrong? Wrong. Because the word Akbar means the inner of the drum. Like those drums that they use for music. The inner part of it is called Akbar. So you have to learn what to say. So saying Allahu Akbar, not Allah wa Akbar. This is also wrong. Allahu Akbar. Should we really focus with that? Yes. Because if you say Allah wa Akbar, you're making a partner with Allah. You're saying Allah and someone named Akbar. That's haram. Your salah is invalid. So there is no joking. There is no, oh, you know Arabic, you don't know Arabic, should we learn Al-Fatiha, learn what to say in Al-Fatiha. Recite Al-Fatiha correctly so your salah could be correctly. Rasulullah said, if your Fatiha is correct, your salah is correct. If your Fatiha is invalid, your salah is invalid. So everybody must learn how to recite Al-Fatiha properly. Now we made ruku', we got back to the qiyam. We said the dhikr of the qiyam. Now going down to sujood. Going down to sujood, Rasulullah forbid that we drop down to sujood kama yabrukul ba'ir, like the camels when they go down. So look how the camels go down. Literally. What do? They have their front feet, they drop it on the ground with a sound. So the scholars, they said, okay, what is Rasulullah telling us not to do, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is it to go with our knees first? Or not to be like camels, to go with our hands? This is where the difference is. To be honest, there's hadith Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu and the other hadith that Rasulullah sallam, whether he went with his hand or with his knees, the point is to not drop down with the sound or that movement, that shaking movement that we make, whether you go with your hands or... So if somebody's going down, like any of the kids know how to do this, just go down with your hands. I don't want to hurt myself, I'm too old now. Huh? You know how? So if you're going down, that's the point. So don't do that, and don't do it with your knees. So what should I do? You have one of two options. Here, you're going down. Again, Allahu Akbar. Correct or incorrect? Incorrect, because you made it before the movement. How about this? Allahu Akbar. Also incorrect, because you did it after the movement. So what should be the best way? Allahu Akbar. While you are going for sujood, especially the imams, the imam, if any of you guys pray or lead salah. Because if you go, think about this, if you say Allahu Akbar and then go to sujood, half of the masjid is already in sujood. People don't wait for you. Imams need to know that. People are not going to wait. So you should go with the movement. Allahu Akbar. While I am moving. Now, should I go with my knees or my hands? Both. Look at how you do it. If you're going to go with your knees. Okay, if you're going to go down with your knees. You're going down. Your knees gets to the ground first. And then your hands. So that is the camel going down. That's where some scholars says it is better hands. So how do I do the hands? You're going down. Before you get to the ground, you put your hands and then your knees. You get it? So either you go down, Allahu Akbar, or you go down, Allahu Akbar. Is everybody clear on that? Yes or no? Yeah? Okay. When you make sujood, how much of my body should be on the ground? How much did we say when you stand up? You are what? How much? Huh? 4 arm length. In sujood, you're 3 only. From where your feet is to where your head is, has to be 3 arm. Do like this. Do your thumb like this. Just go like that. Go out, stretch out, stretch out. To your elbow. This is how you measure. 3. So now, I need someone. So if I'm going for sujood, here you go. I'm standing, okay? Or I'm standing. Allah, whether you're going with your hands and then here. The point here is even if you go with your hand, don't do this. Like, I hear it in Sunday school, especially Sunday school, mashallah, because we have a lot of kids. And all of them, they do it together, it makes sound. That's what Rasulullah said, don't do. So when I'm going, Allahu Akbar, I usually personally put my hand, because it's easier for, I don't know, I put my hands and then touch with my knees. Now, if I'm making sujood, from where my toes are to my head, it has to be 3 feet. 3 of your arm length. So here, Bismillah, حط إيدك على. So if I'm making this much, look, if I'm making like this, okay, put your hand, hands up, okay, here, okay, let's count from here. 1, look, 1, 2, and this much. So it's not enough. So your sujood it needs to stretch out more. That's how, practice it once at home with someone, and then you're going to get into the habit. So this sijada, if I put my feet here, right here, okay? And I reach out to the end of the sijada like this, okay? So here, we count 1, 2, and 3. So you need 3 down, 4 up. Do you understand that, how you do it? So anybody want to try? Let's see if somebody, Bismillah. Who wants to try sujood? Come. Let's get someone who's tall. Come, let's try it. Let's try it based on his arm. Go ahead. Make your best sajda. Okay, he made a mistake right now, but we'll forget it for now. Hold on. Okay, so you're right here. Okay? And then the end of the sajda. Okay, go. Now measure it. Measure it with your arm. No, measure it like this. 1. Okay, 2. Here you go. Perfect. Now shrink in. Make your sajda smaller. Shrink in. If I were to count this, it would not be 3. So he has to stretch more out, a little more out. His arms are all the way here, away from his thighs, away from it, away from his sides. His arm. He cannot be touching. It cannot be touching all the way here, like this. Or go back a little more. No, go back like body-wise. Here you go. See, this is wrong now. His arm touching his sides. This is completely wrong in sujood. Having his arm on the ground like this, like Rasulullah said, do not pray like a dog. That is how the dogs sit. They sit on their arm fully, for men and women. Our sisters, the only thing is, for brothers, they should have it wider like this. If someone is praying next to them, they should have it wide to their side. So here you go. Wide to their side, okay? Their feet are up, their toes are... Now, the mistake here, for our sisters, they could just go closer to their body, a little closer to their body. Do you see how the sisters pray? Their elbow is closer to their thighs and closer to their body, just a little closer, but not on the ground. Do not pray like a dog on the ground. Have your arm fully on the ground. This is not right. This is not right to do, like how he's praying right now. Here, this is wrong to do. Okay? This is wrong to do. Putting your feet like this, it is wrong to do. Why? Because Rasulullah ﷺ said, I was commanded to do sujood on 7 parts. Jazakallah khair. So 7 parts. I'm going to do it for you now. The 7 parts are: 1, forehead and nose. Now, what do you notice here? I'm wearing a hoodie or a hat. Okay? This hat is covering what? My forehead. Wallahi, it is very disrespectful and it's very distracting. And I don't know what else to do. Wallahi, I don't know what else to do. What else can I say? It is very disrespectful when I'm talking and you're talking. You don't want to listen, just leave. If I ask you any of this question right now, you wouldn't know, you still don't know how to pray. So Rasulullah ﷺ, he said, I was commanded not to tie my hair. So ponytail, that's not for sisters, for brothers only. He was commanded not to roll his sleeves in salah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you made wudu and you have your sleeves up, okay, you cannot start salah. You have to roll your sleeves down first and then pray. You cannot tie your hair. You have to untie your hair. Or if you have your pants up, and you have to roll it down. And then he said, I was commanded to make sujood on 7 parts. What are the 7 parts? Forehead. Now, let me ask you a question. This hat moves when I move or no? Yes. Here, if I move this way, the hat is on. Okay? So if you have something that moves with you, you cannot make sujood on it. So if I put it down like this and I make sujood, the question is my forehead touching the ground? The reality is no. There is something between my forehead and the ground, which is the hat that moves with me. So now, our sisters who are wearing hijab, ماشي, ينفع. Our sisters, or this hoodie right here, good, here you go, okay? For a brother, for example. This hoodie, if I have it on, okay? If I just have it, if I have it here next to me, okay? Can I, if I'm making sajda, look at this. Can I put it like this and make sajda on it? Yes, because it doesn't move with me. I'm not moving. So all of the sisters, they have hijab on. So a lot of the sisters, when they make sujood, they bring their hijab, okay? They put it and they make sajda on it. Now, you are blocking your sujood area, so your forehead is not touching the ground. Your entire salah is invalid. That's why you shouldn't wear niqab when you're praying. So do you understand what that is? So if I'm wearing this hat, now, look at me now. Look at me now. Same as the sisters. If I'm wearing this hat, here, Allahu Akbar. What happened? Forehead is blocking, you're not making sujood on 7 parts. So the 7 parts has to be. So all the sisters, be careful of this idea, because I've seen it a lot, okay? I don't know where they bring this from, especially they tell you, we're not sure the carpet is clean or not. Okay, just put something on it and pray. Put another sijada, put a piece of napkin, put something. But your own hijab, if you have it on, you cannot just drop it and make sajda on it. Because when you're making sajda, your forehead is no longer touching the ground. It's touching you. It's touching part of you. So your salah is invalid. Is that clear? I know sisters do that. I know, especially in this masjid. No. After COVID, a lot of sisters told me because we put our hijab because we're not sure. Yes, you put you're not sure of the ground here. If I put this here, can I make sajda on it? Completely fine. Go ahead. It is not part of me. I'm not wearing it. But your own hijab is on your head, so you're covering yourself while you're making sujood. Is that clear? So forehead, nose. 1. Nose has to be on the ground. 2, both arms. 3, 4. Okay? 5, your knees. 6. 7, your toes. Okay? On these 2. Now, what should be on the ground? It's your entire body. Meaning, if I'm making a sajda, okay, do you guys think this is enough for sujood for me now? Why not? There is no way it's 3. So here, this is 3 now. Okay, here you go. Now it's all apart. Okay, now I have to have pressure on my feet. A lot of people don't do that. They don't pressure on their feet. They pressure on their knees and their hands, and their feet is flexible. It's not even touching the ground. Like it's barely touching. You have to have your feet touching. How do I know that? If someone moves your feet, your waist and your body moves with it. So let me show you who's willing to do this. Huh? Hassan, we need someone. Let's go. Where's the Harun? خلاص. Make sujood. Go ahead. Put your position in sujood. Fully in sujood. Okay? Now, look. So this is how far your feet should be. Your toes are facing the qibla. Not this way. Not this way. Wrong. Kids, look at this. Wrong. You're not facing the qibla. Everybody sees that? Okay. Putting them together like this. Wrong. Putting them on the top of each other. Wrong. It has to be like that. Now put pressure on your feet. Okay? Now, if I shake him, you see his body shakes. So that means he has a weight on his feet. That's correct. Now, if he has his feet up a little bit, just put your feet up a little bit, just a little flex. Here, if I shake them now, his body is not going to move. It's only his feet. You must have pressure on your feet or else you're not making sujood on your toes. And a lot of people don't care about that. People are just leaving their toes so flexible that here, you could just move them. No, we want to put them on the ground fully. Yes, here. If I move it, his body moves. That's the correct way of sujood. Is everybody clear on that part? Yes? Your hand, your elbow is away. Jazakallah khair. So that's the first sajda. How much of Subhana Rabbi al-A'la? 3 minimum. And dua. That's why you should memorize a lot of dua. People, the problem when they don't do khushu' is because they only say same dua in every single sajda, every single salah, so they get bored not knowing what to do. So we finish our first sajda. Here you go. I am going to get up from my first sajda while moving. Allahu Akbar. Now this is called at-tawarruk. I have 2 options now. And listen to this. Okay? There is something called al-iq'a'. Iq'a' is haram halal in salah. Iq'a' كما قال جلوس البدوي المصطلي. This is what people do. I know a lot of people do this. I've seen it a million times. Between the 2 sajda, can you do this or not? Here, can I sit on my heels and my toes are up like this or no? That is called iq'a'. Rasulullah says, do not do iq'a'. So people think this is iq'a'. No, that's not iq'a'. Look at what iq'a' is. Iq'a' is doing this. Sitting on your al-mustali. كجلوس البدوي المصطلي. Like you're sitting on your toes and your knees are what? Off the ground. Like this. You know how people sit like that? That's iq'a' that Rasulullah says, don't do it in salah. So a lot of people think if you do this, you could do this only between the 2 sajda and in the middle tashahhud. Because you're going to get up for more salah. So this is like more ready to get up. So iq'a' is, so if you hear what iq'a' is, and some people will tell you it's haram, I heard it from a sheikh recently and I was shocked. This is what he said. Okay, Allahu Akbar. He said X. He actually on a video says X. No, that's not an X. If my knees are on the ground, so iq'a is this, is to sit like this. Rasulullah said, do not sit like that. Why? Because this is someone who's ready to run. You're not ready to run, you're just resting. You're just getting up from sujood, Allahu Akbar, and you're ready to go back. So it's like a position of resting. You don't want to rest too much and get lazy and relax. You want to be ready to move. So that's one. Or you could do this. Here. I don't know if the camera is getting us in this one. Here. Okay, al-iftirash is to put one of your foot down like this. Can you see? And the other one up. Here you go. You sit on one and you have the other one straight. Okay? This, no. Rasulullah used to pray like this. Here you go. Unless you cannot do it, like you have a problem with your foot that you can't, you have to sit like that, that's fine. You have a problem to sit on this side but not that side. I'm not talking about a problem that you have. I'm talking about a training that you need to do. So don't say I can't do it before you actually try it. You sit on one, Allahu Akbar, between the two sajda, you have to sit. And you say, Allahumma aghfirli, Allahumma arhamni, Allahumma afini, Allahumma arzuqni. And then the other foot, the same as the sujood, facing the qibla. And your hands are on your knees. And then just hands on your knees. And then Allahu Akbar, another sajda. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Taban, this, right or wrong? This, wrong. This. All of this playing with your head like this. It has to be here. You could open it up a little bit or close them together. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay? Not having your nose on the ground where you could see, not fully on the ground, is also wrong in sujood. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, and then you get up for the second rak'ah. You do that all the rak'at. Now we're going to jump to the end so we could close it inshallah. The middle tashahhud, okay, is a sunnah. If a person forgets it, then they don't need to get back down to it. So what do you need to do? The only thing I'm going to mention about middle tashahhud, when you come for second rak'ah, after the second rak'ah from the sujood, you're supposed to come Allahu Akbar, at-tahiyyatu lillahi as-salat. Okay, but somebody came, Allahu Akbar, and they forgot, and they got up. Can they go back and do tashahhud? Yes or no? If you are up completely, then you don't go down. If you are on your way up and you remember, go down. If you got up a little bit and then you remember, go down. But if you're already standing straight, do not go back down. Okay? That's one. Then you do the middle tashahhud, you get up. Now the last tashahhud is our last part of salah. If you're going to come up, okay? Allahu Akbar. You have two ways. Rasulullah used to sit the same way between the two sajda. And you have to sit in a way that you're facing the qibla, sitting straight. You're not like this. You're not leaning on it. You're sitting straight. Or al-iftirash completely. You put your feet under this leg or on it. Whatever is easier for you. This one is a little hard for a lot of people. So it's either on or under. Okay? And here, you're sitting completely. Now, sitting down completely and you have your foot like that, the problem is some people shift from the qibla. So when they go up, they go, now I'm no longer in the qibla. The qibla is right there. You want to make sure that you're still facing the qibla. So you sit completely on your buttocks, completely on it, and your feet is under your leg. Your other leg is standing straight, and then you do your tashahhud, at-tahiyyatullah salat, you finish. Now, the last part of tashahhud is, should we move the hand, should we not move the hand? What is the best way? The best, we have few ways. You put your hands on your knees. This left, you just put them on the top, on your thighs area, where your knees, you're not holding your knees. And then you do like this, one, or you do like this, or you do like this, or you do like this, without holding. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the 4 ways that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. We have people who does this on the side. We actually have in the Maliki Madhab Ibn Abdurrahman al-Qasim, he said it has to be facing your nose, but he didn't mean it this way because you have to be pointing. He meant it this way, like to be pointed this way. Or the 5th way is he put his hands like this and he holds his left knees. So he keeps his hands straight, the right, and he holds the left knees. And he places it like that. So 1, 2, 3, or 4 with your finger. Should I move it or not move it? We have so many ahadith. Some hadith says keep it as it is. Point to the Qibla and keep it. Some hadith says you cannot point at something unless you, like if I point at someone, I have to move my finger. So Rasulullah when he used to point, he used to move. So at-tahiyyatullah, salat tayyibatullah. That's it. This qabd and bast, okay, you shouldn't do it because that's not moving. That is closing and opening. And he used to move it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All right? So we have all these ways. How you hold it, you hold your finger like that, easier for you. Here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is that clear? And then the salam, the end of the salah, then we'll take questions, inshallah. Now the salam are few. 1. Assalamu alaikum. Now, look at the salam, because this is very important. When Rasulullah ﷺ used to turn to his right, which is the obligatory, this is the exit of salah, he used to show the people behind him part of his nose and his right eye. So how much does he turn? Not too much. So here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And then when he turns to the left, they used to see his face with his eyes. Now you understand? So the first one is, that's it. Second one, more like you're exiting, more like you're completely out. Okay? And you say one of these. Now, count with me. I hope I didn't forget anything. Okay. The best is to say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is the best. Or, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Or, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Or, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. Or, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. 1. So, number 1, you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. That was most of Rasulullah's salah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. 2. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. 3. Assalamu alaykum. Assalamu alaykum. Or one time, you should do all so you could gain all the sunnah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. He used to do it to his right only, and he stops. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Why? Because the first taslima is obligatory, second taslima is a sunnah of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam. طيب, Hadith Zaid ibn Qudama in the moving of the finger. I think we covered all that. Imam Ahmed was asked about qabd and sadl. He said you could do either or after the ruku'. Okay, let's take questions inshallah. Now can we sit down for a few minutes? So we could keep the gathering. The angels are bestowing our gathering, so we don't want to make a mess, inshallah. Let's take questions on salah for few minutes or few seconds before we could finish, inshallah. Yes, Sujud Bani Israel, or yeah, that's fine. The Bani Israel used to make sajda like this, like on one side, like that. So we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to be leaning on one side only. Both your forehead and your nose has to be completely on the ground. That's a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fadal. Yes, one question quickly, one here, one there. Bismillah. Bismillah. Your nose. Nose and forehead, all together. Yes. Yes. You could look at the finger or you could look at the place of sujood. Both are accurate. Yes. If you get what? Yeah, you could. The socks is fine. The socks is fine. Your forehead skin. Your nose skin. Your hand skin. The rest fine. Oh, for sisters, I forgot to say that. For sisters, they are. Okay, can we close the door in the back? If they're gonna talk outside, they're gonna distract me. For sisters, الأفضل للأخوات أن يغطين ظهور أقدامهن في الصلاة. هذا الذي أراه. It is better for sisters to cover the top of their feet in salah. I will tell you, most of the evidence says that it should be covered. So it should be covered in a way. If you're wearing a abaya, for example, the abaya has to be this long. See, it's covering. Not when you're in sujood, no, when you're standing. So it should be covering when you're, of course, when you're standing straight, but I'm just showing you. So if I'm standing straight, is my foot exposed or covered? Exposed. At least your salah is going to decrease numbers of reward. At least if it's not wrong. So if you wear a socks in salah, it is better. Nowadays, alhamdulillah, the isdal for salah, they make it long. So when you wear it, this is how it looks. That's fine. So but if I make sujood, the inner of my foot would show. That's no problem. We're talking about when you're standing, the top of your feet has to be covered. That's for sisters. So that's a reminder. Yes? What? Okay, you bring it to you or you put it on your... Yeah, keep it straight. Yeah, keep it straight. There's exceptions. If it's too crowded, we could even pray on the back of the other people. We don't even have to make sajda. But that's excuses. Yes. How? Huh? Yes. You cannot pray in? No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't pray in gloves because your hands would not be touching and your skin has to be touching the ground. Yes. But the foot, no, because Rasulullah prayed in socks. So that's fine. For the brothers who are wearing pants, they're too long, we have two hadith. Rasulullah says, do not roll your clothes in salah. And one hadith that says you should not wear long clothes. So in salah, one takes precedence because it's specifically for salah. So you should not roll it in salah. Leave it long, better. But outside of the salah, you should not have it long anyway. But in salah, I don't like rolling your... Just leave it long, better than rolling it. Because Rasulullah said, don't roll in salah. So that's more specific. The other one is more general. And the specific takes precedence over the general. Yes? The entire forehead part is where the mark of the sujood is, not the sides, the forehead. And by the way, it is not a sunnah at all to leave a mark on your forehead. Because some people, when they do sujood, this is what they do. They go, Allahu Akbar, and they keep pushing their head to the ground because they want to make sure they have a mark of sujood. A mark of sujood is not a sunnah. A mark of sujood is actually a sign of khawarij. Rasulullah described them to have those marks of sujood. If it comes on you, alhamdulillah, yani if it comes, whatever reason, some people have it on their skin. But if you go down every sajda and you pressure your forehead to the ground till you make that mark, nobody asks you to do that. Your forehead has to be touching here. So is my nose touching the ground or no? Here. No, my sujood is incomplete. My nose has to be touching the ground and my forehead has to be touching the ground, not pressuring the ground. Allah. Yes? Yes? Intention, you don't need to say anything. You intend in your heart that this is the salah. Even though if you say it, it's not haram, but it's not recommended. According to some madhahib, it's makruh, dislike to say the intention. So you should not say, I intend to pray Salatul Dhuhr 4 rak'ah in Davis Masjid. Allahu Akbar. You should not supposed to that. Why? Because when you came here, you came for Dhuhr. That is 4 rak'ah. So in your heart, you think of intention is But what if somebody says, I heard this in the haram, subhanAllah, I was next to a brother, he said, I intend to pray Salatul Maghrib 3 rak'at in the masjid of, fi Bayt Allah al-Haram, and then he said, but who's the imam? قلت, oh, now he has to check the schedule. You know, he think he has to do the full thing. But subhanAllah, this is wiswas. This person has wiswas. You don't need to do that. But if somebody says, I intend to pray Dhuhr 4 rakat, Allahu Akbar. Is their salah valid? Yes. But it's not the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So your heart has to think of an intention, not your tongue. Yes. Yes. It's fine because when there's crowd, she should cover, so that's a different ruling. So she's excused from that because of the other ruling. There's people and so on and so forth. But even though it is better not to pray with it on, it is better. Yes? Okay, now if you do mistake in salah, I'm going to make it very simple in 1 minute. And I'm going to teach you the easiest way. We have to make up, if the mistake is not a pillar of salah, then you make it up with 2 sajda. If the mistake is a pillar of salah, like for example, look at this. If I come in, look at this. The imam is in ruku'. Okay, I need someone, can you stand here? In front of me? Just make ruku'. He's the imam, he's ruku'. Okay, I'm coming from the back running. Look at what I did. Allahu Akbar. Now, he's in his ruku'. I catch his ruku'. What did I do wrong? Huh? You didn't stand, and you did not specify takbirah was for the standing or for the ruku'. طيب, which one do I need? The standing takbir or the ruku' takbir? The standing, the ruku' is sunnah, it's fine. So if I came in and he was in ruku' and I did this, Allahu Akbar, my salah is fine. But if I say Allahu Akbar and I didn't stand, I missed what? A pillar. My entire salah did not even start, so this is wrong. So a pillar in salah, your salah is invalid. Now a mistake in salah, if it's not with the imam, because for example, if the second rak'ah comes in Isha, the imam, At-Tahiyyatu lillahi as-salawat tayyibat. And then I came from sujood, I forgot he's in his second rak'ah. I got up, then I saw him coming. I come back down. Did I make mistake? Yes, I did. The imam carries it. Al-imam mu'taman. Miskeen, the imam. That's why you shouldn't be an imam. Because you cannot carry everybody's... Yeah, Rasulullah said this is responsibility. But when I came back down, I made a mistake. I shouldn't correct it because I am following the imam. Now, if I'm praying by myself, the easiest way to think of the 2 sajda is if you decrease in salah or make a mistake in salah that you took out, you minus something or you miss something, make the 2 sajdah before salam. If you add on anything in salah, make the 2 sajdah after salam. So look at this. Look at this. I am in my sujood. Okay? This is my 4th rak'ah in Isha. 4. Look what I did. Allahu Akbar. Then I remember, at-tashahhud. What did I do? Did I add to the salah or did I take out of salah? I add. So after I finish, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Allahu Akbar. I make a sajda, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, again. You shouldn't add more sajda because if you do sajda before salam, you added more sajda into the salah. But if I did this is my 2nd rak'ah now. My 2nd rak'ah. Okay? Allahu Akbar. What did I forget? The tashahhud. Khalas, I'm already up. When I finish my 2nd tashahhud, before I make salam, Allahu Akbar, sajda, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, sajda, Allahu Akbar, and then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Why? Because I took something out of salah. طيب. Now, if I forgot a sajda, I only made 1 sajda and I got up. Now I'm still missing a sajda of the 1st rak'ah. I should go back to it. I should finish that sajda first. Then make the 2 sajda of forgetfulness after or before? Huh? Okay, here, I'm coming up. This is my rak'ah, my 1st rak'ah, for example. Okay, Allahu Akbar. I went down to sujood, I made a sajda, Allahu Akbar, and then I got up. Oh, then I forgot I didn't make the 2nd sajda. So I go back to the 2nd sajda, Allahu Akbar, and I make it, then I get up. What did I do in salah now? I added what? Standing up. So there was a standing up between the two sajda. That's adding. So therefore, the two sajda of forgetfulness should be after the salam. So anytime you take from salah, put it in salah. You add to the salah, put it after salah. Now, let me ask you a question. This is my test now. If the imam got up for the fourth rak'ah in Maghrib, if you know, raise your hand. Don't answer. The imam got up for fourth rak'ah in Maghrib. Everybody should say what? Men should say Subhanallah. Women should clap. Now, say Subhanallah. Okay. He doesn't know what you're saying Subhanallah for. He thinks this is his rak'ah. You know for sure this is his fourth. What should you do? Yes, Muhammad. You do what? You say salam? You wait till the imam finishes. I was going to give you a gift. No, wrong. Huh? You don't follow the imam. You just came from haram. How can you say that? So here's a siwak, but it's wrong. You don't follow the imam. So what should you do? You should wait for who? I was going to give you a siwak. No, wrong. Huh? Yes, correct. You should exit the prayer. You should finish your tashahhud. Why? Because the imam is in his fourth, and his fourth is completely invalid, wrong. So if you know it's invalid, you cannot follow it. And if you wait for him to come down, you waited for him till he finished his wrong salah to finish with him salah. Now you're disconnected from the imam. You must leave the imam. You have to leave the imam. Yalla, khud is-suwak, masha, no problem. He just came from the haram, so he should have for us. Okay, طيب. Question. If a person comes, this is important for salah, especially this salah that everybody asks for. If a person comes and he did not pray Maghrib, and that person finds the imam praying Isha, what are the options? And underline what I'm saying. So if you give me one answer, it's wrong. What are the options for you if you have not prayed Maghrib? Okay, let's start with the first option. Huh? How? The imam already started Isha. If the imam already started Isha and you follow the imam with Isha and he already started not from the first rak'ah, you don't have option. You have to pray Isha with him, and then pray Maghrib, and then pray Isha again. Okay? Yes, you must, because there's an order. You have to do the order of Salah. So you pray with the Imam, he's in second, third. But if you come and the Imam is standing and he says, Istaw, get ready for Salah. Now we're going to start with him Isha. You have 3 or 4 options. What are they? Bismillah. 1. You pray with the imam. Let's do the order first. The first easiest one is to do what? Pray Isha with the imam, and then pray Maghrib by yourself, and then pray Isha again. No problem. Khud, even though you don't have teeth, but no problem. Okay? طيب. So that's one. Now, the second option, how you pray Maghrib. 3 rak'ah and he's praying 4. When he says what? Before that, you pray Isha with him 4 with the intention of Maghrib. 4. 3 as Maghrib and 1 as extra. Sunnah. And you finish with your Imam. You prayed what? Maghrib intention. How many rak'ah? 3 and 4, the 4th is Sunnah. And then you pray Isha again 4 rak'ah. Now, the one you're saying, you follow the Imam. When you get up, when you get up from the 3rd rak'ah, you could do one of 2 things. You wait for him to finish, his fourth, and he comes down, and then you do together at tashahhud, at tahiyatullah, and then you make salam with the imam. So you prayed 3 and he prayed 4. Or you could do a trick to get 2 jama'ah. You do tashahhud on your own, make salam, get up and catch the imam in his fourth. Allahu Akbar. Now this is your first of Isha, and then you pray 3 later. So you did 2 jama'ah, Maghrib and Isha and jama'ah if you want to do jama'ah. Yes, sir. Huh? Yeah, qada because you missed the time. Yeah. Huh? You didn't follow the imam. Yeah, could get disconnected from the imam. لأنه جابر رضي الله عنه did that. Disconnecting from the imam because of the intention of your own salah has to be 3. لأنه المغرب لابد يكون 3. فإذا أخذنا إنه 3, you could disconnect with the imam and start again with the same imam to get the 2 jama'ah. Huh? لا, you don't. يجوز إنه both they have different intention. صح الصلاة. Yes. خد يا عم واحد. أنت خدت ها. Yes, let's close it up in 5 minutes and I'll take last questions. I hope inshallah it was beneficial. I hope we did what we can. So let's take questions inshallah. Bismillah, quickly. Yeah, while moving, getting up. Yes. It's fine. If you miss, okay, this is very important because this is also a mistake, but it's not a very big mistake. A lot of people, for whatever reason, they go longer than the imam. Did you notice that? For example, I noticed that in my, like if I am in my sajda, okay, Allahu Akbar, this person behind me wants to do more sujood. MashaAllah, he's longer. By the time he gets up, I'm already Allahu Akbar in my second rakah. So he gets up and then he missed my sitting. If you miss 2 movements, your salah is invalid. If you miss 1 movement only, it's fine. So when I got up, that's what? 1 movement. If he did not get up before if I go Allahu Akbar, now if he got up now, he missed what? 2 movements. So now his salah is invalid. He disconnected from me. So if I get up Allahu Akbar, he could go longer, but he has to make sure that he gets what? He gets up before I go to my sajda. And some people don't do that. That's one. The other mistake, good that we remember mistakes because mistakes correct. The other mistake, when the imam says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, you should cut off all your adhkar, even if you're not done. Because your imam did what to the salah? Finished the salah. Okay, you're praying with me. I am your imam. Okay? If I say Assalam, when does your salah finish? When your imam says, not when you say Assalamu alaikum. Wadah? Not when you say. So if I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, some people they still Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and I turn around and people are still. Imam is already done. What are you doing? You should follow the imam. So if the imam says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah and you're saying oh Allah, you need to cut off because your salah is cut off by your imam's cut off. And for the imam, for anybody who leads salah, not a lot of you lead salah, but maybe, okay, it is a sunnah to turn around to the people after you finish salah, okay, to not to sit like this because I see some people they sit like that when they finish salah, okay. That's not a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that he used to turn around to the right, and sometime he sallallahu alaihi wasallam would turn to the left, and he would face the people after he says astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. So people think turning around is just to turn to give and then they do their own adhkar. If you're sitting like this, you're giving your side to the people, it's not a sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as an imam. See why? Because you're greeting after the salah in a form. Yes. Quickly, huh? No, you shouldn't recite with the imam. When the Quran is read, you should listen. And then when the Quran is finished, you should recite. So if the imam gives you, this is the easiest way. If the imam gives you time, recite. If he doesn't, don't recite. يعني الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا الضالين. Everybody says Ameen. The imam is gonna quiet. If he gives you time to read, read al-Fatiha. If there's only one verse left or something and he starts the surah, okay, finish that verse, no problem. But you shouldn't read with him what he's reading. And that distracts the Imam. Rasulullah used to read Sabbih isma rabbikal a'la and he got distracted, he forgot. So after salah he said, who was reading with me? Some Sahaba said, me, ya Rasulullah. He said, don't do that because you're distracting your Imam when you're reading, especially the surah that people know. You know, the little kids, mashallah, they always do that. As soon as you read, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي, you find everybody saying, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي. It distracts the Imam and his focus. Now, what? La, la, la. The Sahabi was repeating without. Yes. Yeah, that's another thing. You cannot pray like this. First, you have to have something on your shoulder. So you should not pray in tank top. And honestly, I don't see a point of praying in tank top. We have enough clothes, especially at home. Wallahi, I was living with some brothers sometime, a period of my life. Sometime we would do that. They'll just come out like with a tank top. And I'm like, your shoulder is showing. Rasulullah said, have something on your shoulder. You're standing before Allah. You have to understand this. Allah, Al-Malik, the king. None of you, even I first, we cannot go to a court in tank top. Wallahi, we can't. You don't go to an interview with tank top and shorts. Have you done that? You won't get the job. Let me tell you right now. You dress nicely and Salah. When people come and they don't perfume their body or their clothes, they have a smell. Why? You're coming to the masjid. So here, if a person is praying, ala atiqihi shay, a person should have something on his shoulder. Here you go. Do I have my shoulder covers? Yes, that's a sunnah. But the other forgotten sunnah is you have to what? You have to have your sleeves on. You cannot just put it on. Especially if you're wearing a coat or abaya or a jacket or something like that, you cannot pray like that. You have to have it in. You have to. That's Rasulullah disliked a person praying with something on his shoulder like that. Yes? Ahead of the Imam, you miss Salah is invalid. Salah is invalid. If you do a movement before the Imam, Salah is invalid. So, most people, they do it with sujood or even ruku'. For example, when the Imam says, that's why if the Imam says, Sami Allah, and everybody is up, he's not up yet. You went up before the Imam. Your Salah is invalid. You should not get up before the Imam. Same thing, Allahu Akbar, and you have people already in sujood. This is a mistake with the Imam too. He shouldn't do that. We already said. But your Salah is invalid because you disconnect from the sujood. Yes? Dhuhr and Asr, yes. You don't read loud. No, you reading silently when you're moving your lips and your tongue. This is what people do. This is another mistake. Good one. Look at this. Allahu Akbar. Now, your tongue and your lips are not moving. Salah's wrong. You have to be moving to a point that your tongue is moving, your lips are moving. Even though you can't hear, no problem, but you should hear yourself. But even if you can, at least they're moving. If they're not moving, that's wrong in Salah. The other wrong in Salah, you shouldn't close your eyes. It doesn't bring you khushu', believe me, it doesn't. It just gets you wondering things, you start dreaming. And you're missing looking at the area of sujood, sunnah, yes? Fine. So what's the problem? After just one salam? There is a narration, but it's not very strong. Not very strong. Not very strong. The strong narration is, after the salam, you do sajda without tashahhud. But there is narration that is weak that mentioned that you do also tashahhud. So it's fine. It will be based on that evidence. Yes? No, you shouldn't. Yes? No, when you're saying it from the beginning to the end. التحيات لله الصلوات الطيبات البركات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. Some people, they only do it during the shahada. Okay? The most correct way, the hadith of Wa'il radiallahu anhu, the most correct way that Rasulullah used to have his finger either pointing or moving from beginning to the end. But yes, there is an opinion, and Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala said, I saw Anas ibn Malik when I was 7 years old. And I saw him raising his finger only at Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. He was too young too, at 7 years old. But you understand, this is a madhab thing. So it's fine. Like if the person only says Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, and puts it back on. Yeah. Finger moving, not moving, rolling, doesn't break your salah, doesn't cause any harm to the salah. But it's not a sunnah. So we were trying to put in all the sunnah, not get into any madhab or any. I hope we did that, inshallah. Yes? No, you should move when you hear Hamida. Hear, not see. That's one. The other thing with the Imam, when you said the Imam, I remember something, then I forgot. Yes? Yeah, that's the one. If you are in Jama'ah, that's the one I actually wanted to remember. If you're in Jama'ah, you come into the masjid. This is another sunnah. Okay? You have two things that you need to do. If first of all, if there is a place in the row that is empty, can you cross over the lines? Oh, we forgot the most important thing. We actually forgot a very important thing. A sutra. Sutra is a cover that a person takes between him and his place of sujood, that if he were to make sujood, he leaves a space for a goat if there's a goat, the goat would move in, not a camel, of course, a goat. So if I'm making sujood, can a goat go here? Yes. If it's this much, that's too much. You have to be close to the sutra, close to your sutra, that a little goat would pass. That's how close you are. What is a sutra? A sutra is a cover. Rasulullah ﷺ says, if a person knows the punishment for crossing in front of someone while praying, they will wait 40. So Abu Hurairah said, they asked Abu Hurairah, 40 what? He said, I don't know. So, and this is actually a torture, because Rasulullah said, if you know that there is a torture, there is a punishment, if you cross in front of someone while praying, if you know what punishment that is, you would wait 40. That could be 40 what? Seconds, years, months, whatever. So there's two things. A person must take a sutra. Now this is the mistake that people do in this masjid. When they pray, this is not a sutra. Why? Because a sutra has to be an arm length. So people think it's the width of the sutra. It is not. It's the length of the sutra. So it has to be. So if I have this, if I don't have anything but this, if I take a siwak and I'm outside, if I place the siwak here, Rasulullah used to he had a little stick and he would put it in the ground. It would be standing like this and he would pray. Can this siwak? Well, it's not even an arm length. So if I bring this chair, okay, can this be my sutra? Oh yeah, here, longer than an arm length. So the width doesn't matter. So those little, where are the little? Give me one of the little desks that you guys sit on. Where is my cup? Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, don't think I'll forget. This is a. Their verse, if it's okay, Bismillah. So a lot of people do this when they come to this masjid here. They want to put a sutra. Rasulullah ﷺ said you should take a sutra. Why? If a person crosses in front of you and you have a sutra, you're safe. If you don't have a sutra, you are wrong and he is wrong. And you should fight him to stop. Even Rasulullah ﷺ will use the word fight, like you push him back. And if he doesn't stop, that means there is a shaitan pushing him. So here, people come to the masjid, they put a sutra, Allahu Akbar. Is this correct? Incorrect. Why? It has to be up. Now, is it an arm length? Yes, about. So that's fine. So it's not the width of the sutra, it's the length of the sutra, because that's where the hub of the camel, or where you put on the camel. So you could put it this way if you want to. There you go. As a sutra. Okay. Or you open it up and you leave it. Yes. That's one. Now, if I come in this masjid, there is a spot in the first row. Okay? Can a person cross in front of the people and come and fill that spot? But they cannot cross in front of people. Yes, they have an imam. They can now. Jabir radiallahu anhu, you could. That's why in Taraweeh, especially in Salawat, when it's crowded, people are afraid to move up. Like how? No, you could actually walk between the lines and the rows and get all the way here, and the imam, because your imam is the sutra for everybody. So the lines, you could walk between the lines if there is a need for it. That's one. Two, if you come into the masjid, we have 3 rows. You come in alone. You should not pray by yourself in a line. You should tab. This caused a lot of problem in one of the masajid I was in. You should tab on the person, one of the people, to back off for you, so you could start the salah, or wait for someone to come. You shouldn't pray in a line by yourself. Tab on the shoulder, one of the people. Yeah, middle of the row, and then they close it up. You know, on the side, you don't start from the side. You start from the middle to the right. Yes? Stand next to him, it's fine. That's fine. The assumption is fine. Yes? Last 2 questions here, last 2 here. Khalas. Yes? No. You could make dua in any language, but the thing is, you should learn du'as in Arabic, and you should learn multiple du'a. So if you're praying 4 rak'at, your 4 sujood should be different. You have 4 times 2, that's 8 sajda. You cannot be making same dua in all 8 sajda. You would miss the khushu' of salah. If you only say, Ya Allah, forgive me, in one sajda, Ya Allah, forgive me, you wouldn't even feel it no more. You don't even have the feeling of forgiveness in your heart. But imagine one sajda you make dua for your parents, one sajda you make dua for your friends, one sajda you make dua for your family, one sajda you make dua for your school and your someone that you know sick. Now your focus is more, and you're into the dua. But if you just say, Oh Allah, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, it's like you're just repeating it without feeling it. Yes? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. As I said, be close as possible. I'm not touching too much, but be close. Yeah. Be close. Yeah, you can. Yes? You shouldn't make dua in what? You shouldn't? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الرُّكُوعُ لِلتَّسْبِيحِ, that the ruku' was made mainly for ta'zeem al-Rabb. وَالسُّجُودُ أَقْرَبُ مَا يَكُونُ الْعَبْدِ, the closer you are to Allah is in your sujood. So increase your dua. And he never said not in the, with all the respect, this person need to bring evidence. As Rasulullah said, this is the place of acceptance of dua, is in your sujood, in your salah. And he didn't specify which salah. Salah, your main salah is your obligatory salah first. Allahu A'lam. Maybe he's confused, or maybe Allah. Maybe he said you shouldn't because the minimum, Allah A'lam why he said that. But with all the respect, that's not right. Yes? Yeah. You should keep your dua to only Arabic. And you should learn Arabic dua for the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam should be in Arabic, and you should learn it. But if a person does not have that, none of the ulama, they allowed him to do it in any other language till they learn, inshallah. Should be fine, inshallah. Yes? Huh? Do you do what? You do what? The adhkar? Random? You say Subhan Rabbiyal A'la, Subhan Rabbiyal A'la, Subhan Rabbiyal A'la. That's just regular. Yes? Khalas, last question, then we'll say the dua and leave. And don't leave before you say the dua, inshallah. Huh? Salah Tayyara? What about it? You could pray sitting down. Okay, in the plane, if you cannot stand up to pray. Nowadays, most of the airlines do not allow you to stand up. Okay? Some they do. Saudi, mashallah, they have their own musalla. But if you're going to pray in the plane, you're sitting down like this. Allahu Akbar. You're sitting straight. You're doing every movement. In ruku', you're going a little lower. In sujood, you're just a little lower. I see some people, they try to reach for the food table. I don't know what's with the food table. Like, they want to touch it with their forehead. No. Rasulullah ﷺ used to pray on the camel. He used to stand straight, sit straight, bow down for ruku', and a little more than ruku' for sujood. So that's, The time is a different thing, because the time it has to do where you left from, where you're going. So for example, if you're going to get on the plane before dhuhr, you pray dhuhr and asr in the plane. Okay? And then if Maghrib times come, you pray. If you're going to be traveling all day, then you calculate the time. Timing is, inshallah, nakhudu fil fiqh. We'll study it in fiqh. Last question here, last question here. Oh, no question? Okay. Bismillah, yes. Huh? You need to leave. If you realize that you're in the fourth rak'ah and the imam is in the fourth of Maghrib, and you know for sure this is the fourth, you should cut it off right away. Even the imam. If the imam gets up straight and he says, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Rahman Rahim, and somebody says, Subhanallah, and he realized that this is the fourth, he should cut it off. Not like what we did with tashahhud. Even if you're standing, leave off where you're at, go down for tashahhud, finish your salah, and then make the two taslim, the two sajda after the salam. Yes? Well, the ghusl of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nowadays with the shower is a little hard, because a person taking a shower, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to take 1.5, so we're talking about 6 bottles. And he used to shower his body sallallahu alaihi wasallam completely, and this is how this is what they shower with. So if you have something like, if you go to Medina, but you don't get the chain to Rasulullah, but you could buy it now in Medina. They actually have it for like barakah and stuff. But anyway, so one full of this, and then they shower. I used to shower like this when I was a kid. Back home, this is what we shower with. But of course, it was more water than just 4 of these or 5 of these. But Rasulullah ﷺ was the cleanest. He was hygiene, the level of hygiene was like 100%. And he still did only 4 and 5. It's teaching you how to save and preserve water. If you get used to it, wallahi, you will practice. You saw today, most of you thought, before we did, there's no way we could do wudu with one of this. We actually did not even do one. So we're able to, like if we have, like when we're camping, we're able to all use bottles and make wudu, and we have no problem. But when we come to the masjid, we're like, no way, it's impossible. Why? It was possible when you had to. When you get used to it, inshallah, you can. But I don't know, you could try it. Yes, the sunnah of the ghusl is to take one of these and to wash your head very good. Make wudu, of course, first, and then wash your head very good. And then you take it, you wash the right side and then the left side. And our sisters, they just undo their braids and wash their hair, and then you wash your face. That's the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right, so yes, last question. Last. Huh? For some reason I know your voice is, huh? Yeah. Well, some like the Hanafi scholars, they say when he says Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, he's done. So you should follow him with the first salam, and then you should follow him with the second salam. The other 3, they say wait till he finishes both. Okay? And in our madhab, you could even do 3 salam. You could say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the right. And then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to your imam. And then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the people on your left. That's another sunnah that people don't do. You should do it more often. See, you have to practice all these sunnah so you could do everything Rasulullah did. So this is the salam. For the imam, you could just say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A lot of people, we were in the masjid, we had a sister class after, the sister was asking me something and she said, you know that Sheikh who only did one salam guy? I'm like, what's wrong with that? She's like, we call him the one salam imam. What do you mean one salam? This is sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You need to get in a habit. You have to get in a habit of doing all of it. So the other salam for the ma'moom is this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the ones on your right. And then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to your imam who gave you salam. Didn't he give you salam? And then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the ones on your left. This is another sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that people forget, or the Sahaba. So you could do all inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت استغفرك ونتوب إليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات تواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. There is siwak here for anybody who wants to follow sunnah of using siwak before wudu and salah. Sunnah of Rasulullah. Sisters could pass it inshallah to anyone who did not get one. Okay? And the brothers, there is more here inshallah that you could come and get one if you did not get, or if you have lost it or whatever reason there is. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. الله يعينكم معلش